Hey there, it's Trisha, and I wanted to go over a few setups from Friday on the ES and also on the Euro FX traded on the CME. And if you want more information on the setups, you can go to www.easyminitrade.com. And I did not trade on Friday, but I'm just going to point these out. We actually had a family emergency, so I did not get an opportunity to trade. And also a reminder that the webinar will be Thursday, January 21st at 8 p.m. So I'll point out on Friday, you can see by looking at the ES that you just were kind of going sideways in a range. So that would be a range trade type of day. You would just be taking range trades all day long. Then at a little after 3:30, I think it was like 3:36 or thereabouts, you did get closed outside the channel. So if you were trading after 3:30, then likely you would have been willing to take this above the high here. Never filled on either of these bars, basically never traded to that entry price. So then you could look to move, place your order above this bar, which is the exact same area as here, and then you would have gotten like a point and a half or thereabouts out of it at most. And again, you would have been trading after 3:30. Otherwise, all day you would have been doing range trades. And this is the Euro FX traded on the CME, and depending on who your broker is and your platform will depend on what, the symbol. So it'll be E6 or 6E, and then of course contract month and the year. With TradeStation, I believe it was CLG10. So anyway, just look it up. It's the Euro FX traded on the CME. So just look at up your CME info for symbols, and you'll be able to find that. So here's a 15-minute chart over here, and so you can get an overview of the market. This is a 300 tick chart, and you'll notice that with the ES, we're willing to take a trade off the first few minutes and ignoring all support and resistance. I have not been watching this long enough to determine whether I'm willing to do that or not. So we're still actually in the testing stages of this. And we're just taking our time and figuring out our targets. So right now our targets look like they're going to be +8, +15, and then a third to trail, and stop being in a relevant area of support or resistance. And also you can change your targets to shoot to just above a support area or under a resistance area. So here is a setup here, and I'm just going to point them all out because there were many of them. You've got your close outside the channel, you have room below you, so definitely you can take that. You did get down to the 50% retracement, which is great, but likely you would have been shooting for this pivot point. So that's where you'd be looking to see if you have room to, and then obviously you got an added bonus. Here, I would not say take this outside the channel once you got under the 50% retracement, because you do have divergence to the upside. You have a lower low here, while here you have a higher low. So that would lead you to believe that you're going to get a bounce. So would not be looking to take something under that 50% just yet. Next opportunity would be here. And I'll give you the times of those. So let me just bring that up here. Let's see. Time here. 9:46, time here, 10:02, close outside the channel. Indicator is above 20 and rising, so you're good to go. Here it's the same thing. You were above 20 and it was just starting to rise, but you could have just as easily waited to enter in under here when you had more confirmation with the ADX, because it still would have been approximately the same entry. So you could have entered here at 10:02 with the likelihood of getting down to the close of the previous day. You went sideways for a little while, and then it did finally go, with the target being the close of the previous day. Another opportunity, if you weren't already in, you could have entered here under this bar. And again, target would have been the close of the previous day below you, and then you did get an added bonus. You got actually down to the low of the previous day, so that worked as well. And so then we start to go higher, and you've got your 50% retracement. So for me, if I was trading, that would be my line in the sand. I'd want to get above that and then look to change my bias. So obviously, in the morning we were going short, and I would not change my bias to taking a long until I got above that 50%, which you'll see is right here. With that, you have the pivot point right there above your head. So for me, I would be waiting to get above that as well. So you do get that here. You get above the pivot point right there at almost 12. It's 11:56. And you went sideways just for a little while, and then obviously continued higher. And your target would be the pivot point above you, midpoint actually. So obviously if you did take that, you would still be in it, and your target would be the midpoint. And not sure that you would have sat through this. You might have been stopped out. But if you move your stop to your entry, that's what we're kind of trying to determine. How are we going to manage this once in on that final third? So working that all out before we start risking our capital. Another opportunity would have been here, and that would have been at 12:31, above the high here, above the floor trader midpoint here, with the target of the floor trader pivot R1 line right above your head. Again, you got right up to it, and a pullback, and then continued higher. So you could have still already been in it. You could have still already been in this the whole entire move higher from that first entry. So just depends on how you would have managed that. I'm just basically pointing out the other opportunities that you would have had, and if you didn't manage to stay in that whole time. Another opportunity here, above the high here, and again shooting for the high above you, and you would have gotten likely your first two targets, and then if you move your stop to your entry, you would have been stopped out on your entry. And then that's pretty much it. The ADX now is below 20, just kind of flatlining. You can see here on the 15-minute chart, you're not doing anything. So, but plenty of opportunities earlier in the day on that. So I'm looking forward to start trading that as well. I think it's going to work out. So anyway, if you want more information on the setups, go to www.easyminitrade.com.